final deliverance, to reach the attainment of nirvana. But inevitably there comes a time when that path falls into neglect, when the knowledge of the path fades from people's minds until a path disappears and becomes lost. And when the path becomes lost, this means the loss of the way to deliverance, the way to Nibbana. Emancipation from the round of existence then becomes nearly impossible. It becomes just a legend or a vague dream of something in the distant past. And when the path is lost, there then follows a period of spiritual darkness, a period which might last for hundreds or millions of years, even for many aeons. But eventually this long spiritual darkness comes to an end. Eventually there arises within samsara a certain being, a man who by his own innate wisdom, by his own striving and energy, without any guide or teacher, rediscovers that lost path to deliverance. Then having rediscovered that path, he follows it through to its end. He realizes the goal. He reaches Nibbana. Then he comes back to proclaim that path, to make it known again to the world. The man who accomplishes this twofold task of rediscovering the path to Nirvana and of making it known again to the world, this person is called a Buddha. A Buddha does not arise as a deity of any kind, or as the incarnation of a god, an avatara, a prophet, or a divinely inspired messenger. He comes as a human being. He begins as a man caught up like ourselves in the round of suffering and defilement in which all beings are caught up. However, he is not an ordinary man, but an extraordinary man, an Acharya Purisa. He is an extraordinary man with immense potentials of intelligence, energy, and compassion, which he has developed over countless lifetimes of self-cultivation. Throughout countless lifetimes, he has prepared himself for his future role as a Buddha by perfecting in himself the required qualities, the virtue, the powers, the wisdom needed by a world teacher. In his last existence, he quickly discerns the fundamental inadequacy of human life. Through his inner sense of mission, he goes forth to seek a way out of the bondage and suffering, and then, out of compassion, after discovering the way, he comes back to teach the path to the world at large. We see this function of the Buddha illustrated for us in the suttas. In one sutta, the Buddha gives an analogy. He says, suppose there is a certain district where the people are living in great poverty, and they're looking for an escape from their condition. Then from among their midst a certain man appears, who goes into the forest, seeking for some other land to which he can bring his fellow countrymen. Suddenly he discovers a track running through the forest. He follows that track through until he comes to an ancient city, a very beautiful and wonderful city that has been inhabited by people in the past, but is now deserted. Having found that city, he then returns to his own city, and he leads his countrymen there. They revive the city until it becomes prosperous, successful, and flourishing. In the same way, the Buddha says, I have discovered this path. leading out from the impoverished city of samsara, the round of birth and death, the round of suffering, to the splendid city of Nibbana, the place of deliverance. And having found that path, I make it known, the way to freedom from birth, aging, and death. So that is the special function of a Buddha, to rediscover the lost path to deliverance, to liberation, and to make that path known to the world at large. And by making it known to the world, the Buddha throws open the road to deliverance to all humanity, so that others can follow the path, and by following it, reach the same goal of liberation that the Buddha himself has reached. The Buddhas are not unique in achieving release from samsara. All those who follow it through, who follow the path through to the end, reach the same goal. These people are called arahants, accomplished ones, perfectly liberated ones. The specialty of the Buddha's function is the rediscovery and reproclamation of the path. Once it is known, those who learn the teaching can follow it through and reach the same goal. The second standpoint from which we can discuss the special nature of a Buddha is the standpoint of the qualities of a Buddha. And these can be dealt with from two angles, as the elimination of all defects and the achievement of excellent qualities. The elimination of all defects means that the Buddha has eliminated all defilements. The defilements, these are called in Pali kilesas, which means literally that which afflicts. The defilements are certain mental qualities, factors of mind, which cause affliction, bondage, and eventually suffering. The three basic defilements are greed, hatred, and delusion. And out of these three emerge many secondary defilements: conceit, jealousy, selfishness,